by Amohdoh and DGXS on the development of Total Bloodshed, the flank.
Yeah, we're the game we're developing.
And we're back. I'm once again Gabriel.
I'm Duarte.
And yeah, today we have quite a few topics to cover.
Yep.
The first of which is the time frame of the game. We didn't really outline that much last week when we were recording our last podcast. So uh, what do you think the time frame of the game should be?
So we're thinking 13th century. Am I correct? Till
I believe it's 14th, actually.
14th, 14th
Yeah,
century and 15th century.
yeah, that's it, that's it.
Yeah. So it's like I think we mentioned in the last podcast that we're doing a medieval game. So it will be I think around 13 something and 1420. That's something around that time. So, and it's gonna be in England, and the kings. So you can focus. If you want to be a little, you want us to be more specific. The kings are um, Richard II until Henry V.
And yeah, but not only is it focused in England, we're hoping that eventually with updates, maybe we can add
Yeah,
more countries
yeah.
uh,
Definitely, definitely.
in Northern Africa slash Europe. So I think the countries that we were thinking of were Portugal, France, Spain, what else?
Morocco's, I think. Is it?
Yeah, Morocco. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, our main idea is um, do the England and then Portugal games. Like, gonna be big chapters, like the chapter of England and chapter of Portugal. We're trying to make it big as possible. So we're trying to make it a really big game. So you can spend a lot of time playing it, having fun. So our main goal is to release February. Is February?
Yeah, I think the beta should be out in February.
The beta will include England and Portugal, right?
I'm thinking no, I think beta is gonna be just England, and then
Mhm.
full release will have England and Portugal.
Okay, okay. So that's it. So the order will be England, then we'll say 2 weeks after Portugal, and then we're hoping with a little bit more time, we'll say a month, probably two, for then Spain, France, and then Morocco.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be going straight into beta. We're gonna be having a private alpha where we'll be giving downloads for the alpha. Either through social media, we'll just send out a tweet, and like first three people or something to reply, we'll just get the alpha.
Yeah, the
Or
continue.
just kind of if you're on YouTube or whatever, we can just shoot you on just so you can play it and just feel for it before the beta comes out. We don't want to make the alpha like that big because it's not going to be polished, and it's just like yeah, I don't
Is it
really want an unpolished game out there. The beta will probably it'll have hopefully like no bugs. Obviously, it might have one or two, but compared to the alpha where it's still in development.
Yeah, so we're thinking doing not right now because the game is still new. Not everyone knows about it. We still don't have a lot of people who know about the game. So we're thinking more of doing this. How do you call those?
Giveaways.
Yeah, giveaways. When we still have to think about it if we're going to be like the first people to email us. We don't know. We're probably gonna put a question and the first correct answer will get an email with the alpha version. But that version will be just for a few people. Oh, and we're trying to give to gamers, people who actually game. If you know any people who game, or if you have a YouTube channel, we'll give you the game for free so you can try it, and you can share with other people. That's our goal, to have a lot of people to play the game before it's been released.
Yeah. So hopefully on social media, on the social media aspect of the game, if you just like want to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, all the links will be in the description. That's like probably the best way to have to get one of the alphas that's gonna come out, the private alpha. And with the private alpha, it's not gonna be just one release. I think the private alpha should start probably in December or January, either late December or early January, and we'll be pushing those out like every week. They'll have a new update,
Yeah,
and it will change like story. It will might add another scene, another chapter. It might change some mechanics about something that we've noticed was buggy. That's basically what the alpha is going to be. It's not at all going to be a polished game that you're going to want to be playing every single day, but it's just so you can understand where we're going with the technologies, and also where we're going with the writing and the style of our game.
yeah, and the trailer, I think we mentioned last podcast. We're trying to be more specific. 11th of January. It would be a great.
Yeah, I
So
think that was the day that.
yeah. So just stay focused, because it's already there. We're too close to the date, so I think you'll enjoy it. It's gonna be a fun game to play. You can do a lot of things. It's a good game to. It's gonna be a different game. We're not trying to be the next Assassin's Creed or GTA, or we're just trying to be different.
Yes, and also we obviously don't have like the best resources in the world. We're not a team of 7 million people. That's obviously a very big overexaggeration. We're not a team of like 200 people making this game. It's just two of us.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. That it might take us a little longer. Uh, we're gonna be pushing out as high quality as we can, but it might take like you might have to pay the price of waiting a little bit longer because of that, just because we're a small team. But
Plus,
one of the ideas we're focusing on is trying to keep it as open world as possible.
exactly.
We're It's not going to be like unlimited regenerating, like humongous, never-ending worlds, but we're going to try to keep it as open, as large as we can, without taking a performance hit. So we're going to try to also um, keep the performance at somewhere that any just normal gamer, or maybe if all you can afford is like a laptop from 2 years ago. We're hoping that maybe we can even tailor our game to work on that.
Yeah, that would be great if our game could fit those specifications. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Basically, don't be alarmed if you're like someone with like a 980 graphics card or something, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to be playing on a game that for performance it's like the textures are lowered. Um, that's going to be something that we're going to be like doing a lot in the options. We're going to try to have as robust settings as possible where you can tweak everything to your liking. Even as we discussed last episode, if it's first person, third person, you can choose. We're trying to make this game something that you'll like, no matter what type of game you come from.
Exactly.
You can adapt to it. So if you want beautiful graphics and you don't mind losing a couple frames per second, you can change that in the options. But if you don't have a computer that can run something like that, we're also going to hope that you can change that in the options and find a way to run this game on your computer or whatever platform you're running it on just fine.
Yeah. One more thing. Gabe was talking about us being a small team and gonna take more time, and we can't focus on this project 100% because we have school, we have homework. There's kind of more like a hobby, but something that we do really often. But like I said, it can't be 100%. We don't have the time to be 100% focused on the game. So it's gonna be something that's gonna take us a while. We're obviously gonna miss some things that a professional game has. We're an amateur team, so don't don't go with really big expectations on in terms of I don't know, sound, all of that. But we'll try to make it better as possible, and something that will be good enough. Trying to make it good enough. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and going back to what you're saying about how you should be focusing, or how we're going to be focusing on school a lot, and that's why it's going to take a little bit longer. I think that's why you should probably follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube because between December and January, late December, early January, we're going to be pushing out a lot of stuff. So that's when we're off school,
Exactly.
and
Hmm.
we're going to have a lot of time to be working on the game.
Yeah.
Probably we'll get in those 2 weeks. We'll probably get more work done than we would a month otherwise. So that's why you just gotta
Yeah. Just
you
just
just gotta
just pay attention on our social media. So and we're going to try to make it in on Twitter. I think it's on Twitter an open page, so you can just if when you're playing, if you're one of the lucky ones to play the private alpha, you just leave comments there. Just leave comments. We want to read them comments. We don't care if there's 1,000 or two. We just want your opinion, and if you want to change anything or if you think it's okay, that's our. I think that's our main goal. It's to see what you like and try to improve on what you think you should be improved on.
yeah. Once again, going back to we're just a team of two, so um, we come from gaming. We're not doing this for a living. We're doing this because it's something that we like. This is an idea we came up with, and we're like, wow, that's cool. Why don't we do it? So we're not gonna be just pushing out this game way too early. Nothing's done, and we're
Yeah.
never gonna update it. We're just gonna take your money and go back to the bridge that we came from. No, we're gonna be tailoring this game to how you guys want it. We're gonna try to implement surveys about every week where you guys can choose if a feature, if you want to change it or if you want to add a feature or something, that is something we'll do. Whichever one gets more votes, not only will we consider, I'd say it's probably 80% chance we'll actually do it. But yeah, we're a small company, so we're focusing more on the gamer than the customer.
Exactly. And we're trying to add more kind of. You have the story mode, and we're trying to actually see where we can add more in like in the main menu. So we're trying to see if we can create a multiplayer. That's something that should we could really probably do that. That's something that's doable, and we're thinking of one thing because you're just alone facing thousands and thousands of other uh, just guys run by the computer, and you have to face them all like you're by yourself. I think it's a really it's gonna be fun when you like you just want to improve on your sword or your bow or it's just you facing a lot of computer characters, and I think I think it's something that the player would like to see in a game.
Exactly. Um, I definitely I could make a multiplayer version of the game. Back to where we're going, it's time. It's just something that's gonna happen. This game, we're hoping we can keep it in development. Obviously, we're not gonna obviously we're not gonna work slowly on purpose, but I'm thinking maybe the final update will only be coming out in maybe even a year and a half from now will be when the final it's the end of the final update will be coming out. So we're obviously gonna always be pushing out new things. And that final update will probably be like a fix to the online mode or something like that. But yeah, we're gonna try to keep this game up to date as possible, and we don't want like random bugs
Yeah,
coming on.
that's why we need your feedback. Because bugs, it's something that could happen in your computer and not happen in ours. Because there's a lot of chances it only happens in a few computers. So if you have your feedback, we could change that. So we just
Exactly.
y-
And debugging, it takes time. It's not something that I can't just hop on a computer and take a sword out and hit every piece of wood in the whole game. You know, it's not something that that we can do. Spend our days on if you want actual game to come out. If you want a storyline to come out, we can't spend our whole time debugging. So that's where the beta and the alpha come in play. And even hopefully when the official release comes out, uh, just shoot us emails and stuff, and we'll if you say, oh, I realize this happened, we'll go there, we'll see if it happens to us, and then we go on the code and we fix it. That's the most efficient way to fix bugs, in my opinion, when you have a small team, other than us just finishing the game and then spending 2 months to clean up bugs before we actually release it.
yeah. So just we release the alpha and we see where do you find any bugs or whatever things that you don't like in the game. Because if you see something that you don't like in the game, just comment. We'll change it. We want to make the game for you and not for, like Gabe said before, for a customer. You want to make the game specific for you.
Yes, and going to that customer gamer thing, that customer that kind of has to do with cost. So, um, are we gonna implement a cost to this game? Yes. Is it gonna be kind of like you pay $70 and that's it,
No,
and
no.
then you might have to pay $20 for DLC? No, not at all. It's gonna be we're thinking. Do you want to explain to us?
Yeah. We're trying like we can't see. We spend a lot of time doing this game, so we don't want to like spend the amount of hours that we did all nighters. And I'm not trying to make myself a victim. Don't look in that way. I'm just saying uh our work should be recognized. So we're thinking of around. I don't want to sound the game too expensive, but for now, for the work that's been done, seen with just two, because if we were a big team, it would be different because it's just us two doing a huge game. So we're thinking around $20 for. So we're gonna release two, the Portuguese and English chapter. Try to make it $20. Those two together, and then when we'll see how the game goes, and we'll try to make it 5-10 for each chapter. I think it's a reasonable price for the work that's been put in this project.
Exactly, and that would make you end up spending $45 on a game, which for an indie game might be like, oh, that's ridiculous, $45. There's plenty of games that are free or whatever, but this game, not only are we putting a bunch of hours into it, uh, once again, like he was saying, I don't want to sound like a victim, but probably we could use that money to put ourselves through university or something. So it's not
Yeah.
like we're going to be throwing it away on a Lamborghini. Um,
I don't
so
actually.
it's kind of hours of work, etc. Schooling. So
Yeah. Like I said again, I don't want to sound like a victim, but I missed a few homework doing this game. There's something I shouldn't do work on the game when I had homework, but it's the truth. But that's no excuse. Uh, so so we don't want to spend the money and like buying useful stuff, then we just want them because we have money. No, we're probably saving, because gaming is something that we actually enjoy doing it and creating together, and so probably saving money for a good college that could teach us how to get better and better, so we can do this. I don't say for a living, but for something really close to it. So something that we worked a lot for, spend a lot of hours of our lives doing more games, because we like doing that. And if money comes in, that's just an extra.
Exactly. And I feel like I know Dwight very well. I've known him most of my life. I'd say probably almost all of it. Um, I know both of us very well, and I feel like if we were to come to a point where money it stops being even a factor, it's like something we don't need. I think we'd either just make the game free or probably just donate it. To be honest,
Yeah.
like donate the money that we get from it.
'Cause yeah, that you just said everything.
But yeah, so that's about it. So follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Everything will be in the description down below. And to wrap things up, just like we were saying about how we don't always have the hours to work on the game, always keep in mind that we don't live in the same country.
Yeah,
There's a 5 hour time difference from where we are.
yeah.
So
So
when I get home at 4 o'clock and I'm ready to work, it's 9 o'clock where Duarte is, and he's finishing up his homework, and he's ready to head to bed. So
yeah,
also keep in mind for weekdays.
I have to wake up really early. But again, we're trying to spend a lot of hours in this. Make this good. So, just want to say one more thing. We're sorry for this podcast be big. We're trying to make it shorter, like 7 minutes. But this one and the previous one are getting really big, and I know that if in my personal experience, I wouldn't watch a video that long. Just hearing two guys talking about the game that you probably won't think it's actually real. So we're trying to make our future podcasts shorter, like around 7 minutes. But since this is our first two podcasts, and we have a lot of things to say, we're this two, probably three first ones will be bigger, and then we'll do shorter ones by time to time. So I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, this is the absolute final point. I promise. Um, I think we chose the podcast format over like a dev blog, like a developer website where we just post our updates there. I think we chose the podcast more because a podcast is something kind of you can just throw on and clean your house or do your homework or drive to work. You know, it's just something you can listen to while you're doing your everyday life. I think a website kind of diverts you, even if it takes 5 minutes to read an article. It's kind of like just one more thing you have to do. So,
And I
for future reference, in case you didn't do it with this one, just throw on the podcast in the background if you're doing something. And yeah.
Yeah, like sorry to say one more thing, but like if it was me, like reading an article that was more than 3 paragraphs, lazy as I am, I would probably read it. Wouldn't read it. So I prefer like to always hear it. So I think
Yeah, and then one last thing. No, I'm kidding. All right. Thank you everyone for listening, and social media is down below. Bye bye.